Hello, welcome to lesson 3. We are still in the beginners class. Our goal is for you to be able to navigate the Excel interface and perform basic formatting and arithmetics. Now we are continuing with data validation, and this time around we want to look at how you can prevent duplicate entries when you are working in Excel. Now in Excel, like any other program, if you are dealing with unique value, there are certain data that are supposed to be unique to individual, like student ID, account number, phone number, email addresses, and all those of and so on and so forth. So if you are dealing with such data, you want to make sure that they are unique, and you want to prevent duplicate in your data set. And that's why you can set up a data validation so to automatically prevent duplicate in your data set, and that's exactly what we want to learn. Now, simply highlight the range in which you want to prevent duplicate. It can be an entire column like this, or it can be a range. So let's just limit it to this range. Now go to the data tab and click on data validation. Now the default setting, once this box pop up, is that whatever you enter in this range of cells, the default setting is allow. Any value you enter is allowed. That's what we don't want, and that's what we want to prevent. So we simply click on this drop down, and then we'll go to custom. Now for us to prevent the duplicate entries, you simply enter this formula. You say equals to count if. You open your parentheses and then highlight the range of your cells that you want to use to prevent duplicate entry. Just highlight that range and press on the F4 for absolute reference. Now put a comma and then click on the first cell that you want to prevent duplicate entry. Close the parentheses and enter greater than equals to, that's less than equals to 1, less than equals to 1, and then you click on OK, and then you see it. So for example, we can begin the numbering of our student number. Let's start from 101, then say 102, 103, and then we can say 102 again, and then you have this. So you can see this box that says, oh, this is not this value does not match the data validation restriction. So there's a restriction in this cells that does not allow duplicate. This range of cells, we have restriction there that will not allow duplicate entries. Now, but from this board, we don't actually know. For example, if you are not the one that set it up, you don't actually understand this message. So what do? We'll go back. We highlight our range of cells once again. We go to the data validation. Now, once you have this box, in the error alert message, this particular place, the error alert. Now just click on the error alert, and then you can give it a title, and then you can write a message, or you can turn it off. But I don't advise that you turn it off, so let's turn it on, and then we can put in a title. Write a message to indicate that you don't allow duplicate entries in this range of cells, and then you click on OK. Now by the time you go ahead once again and say 104 and say 103 once again, and then you have this, of course, this board that says duplicate entry is not allowed. So this is a proper message. Now this is whoever is using this will be able to understand that, oh, in this range of cells we are not allowing duplicate entries. So that's one way. We can go back to what we have, and then another format that we can use, another thing that you can use, that we can use the conditional formatting to quickly highlight duplicate entries. So when you are getting raw data, you want to quickly check whether there are duplicates, so that those duplicate does not invalidate your data or your results. So what do you do to set up that? You simply highlight the range of cells. Under the Home tab, click on Conditional Formatting, and then you have the highlight cells rules. Under it, you have duplicate values, and then you can see duplicate, and then this is the color. You click on OK. So by the time you begin to assign your number, quickly you have a color that say, oh, these are duplicates. So you quickly see no, any duplicate entry in your data set will quickly be highlighted with the use of this conditional formatting format. So it's very useful. You can quickly apply it to discover whether you have duplicate. so that that does not invalidate your data. I can go ahead to set it up for all of this so as to check since they are students. I can say this duplicate, then I'll click on OK, and then you see that we now have duplicate even in the result itself. This is I get this is duplicate. I want to confirm we have the same first name, the same surname, and then the same score. So we want to quickly check whether this is not actually a duplicate entry. That's another way of. Now let's learn how to insert new rows and columns in Excel. As you know that these are the columns, the vertical where we have the letter label ABC are the columns, the vertical, while the horizontal where we have the numbers are the rows. Now let's learn how do we manipulate rows and columns in Excel. Now there are times that you are working and you may want to insert new rows and columns in your data set. So let's see the best way to go about it. Now you can just click here if you want to insert new row, new column here. Rather, I want to right click and then I will click on insert, and then you see that the format of the new column is the same as the one on the left because that is the default setting in Excel. If you want to change the format, you click on this format painters, insert options, and then you click format same as right, and then you have the format of the one on the right here. So that is how to go about it. Now that's one way. You may want to insert more than one column. So you only need to highlight this way. If you want to insert, let's say 3, highlight it this way, click on insert, and then you have the 3. Format as the column on the left. If you want to change the format, click here and format it this way, and then you have it. So you can now go ahead and enter your data set. That's one way. The same with columns, also the same with row. You may want to insert, just highlight as many as you want to insert, right click and click on insert, and then the format is there. If you want to change the format, click on this dot and then click like this, and then you have the format below as we have it. So that's that. Now let's see more advanced concept. Now you may have 2 tables in your data set. This is table 1. This is table 1, and we have this is table 2. And then you may want to insert a new row in only the first table like this without affecting this second table. So how do we go about that now? To do that, for example, if I just select this way and I click on insert, you can see that it affected both the first and the second table, which of course I don't want. So for me to insert new row in only this first table, what will I do? I will simply want to click this way. I will align my data set this way, and I will right click, and then I will click on insert. I have the option that says table column to the left or table row above. So the option I want to pick is a table row above. And as you can see that I have a new row without affecting this second table. You can insert as many as possible. If I click this way and then I'll insert, I put it this way, you can see I've inserted many rows and then it doesn't affect this other table. You may want to do that kind of work in Excel, and that's why I'm showing this. Now, other one that we can do, we've done that same thing for here. Now we can go ahead to say, for example, we want to insert column 2 and you don't want it to affect this second column. There are ways in which you can go about it. For example, just click, highlight, and then right click and then click on insert. You can just say table column to the left, and you can see I have a new column here, and then I have a new column, and it does not affect this other table below it. So those are ways in which you can use to manipulate rows and columns when you're working in Excel. That's all I want to cover in this lesson. I'll see you in lesson 4. Thank you.